Hello there, everybody, friends, true believers, and newcomers alike. My name is Superfly Comics Guy, and just in time for Halloween, I thought we would take a look at this creepy caper today. Batman Arkham Asylum, a serious house on Serious Earth, the 25th Anniversary Deluxe Edition. We'll be going over the cover, the spine, the contents, the build quality, and a flip through where I can share some of my own thoughts, opinions, and recommendations on this book. So if you like the video, you know what to do. And if you're a nerd like me, feel free to leave your own thoughts down in the comments and let's have a discussion. And one more time for the folks in the back, if you would like to participate in an upcoming Q&A that I'm doing and you have a question you'd like me to answer, this is your last call to do so. So all you have to do is pay a visit to my previous video, the Death of Captain America Omnibus Review, where I announced the Q&A, and go to my pinned comment there, reply to that with your question, and that's it. And thank you to everybody who's already submitted questions. You guys are awesome. But anyway, without further ado, let's take a look at this book. Alright, so here we have the ever-haunting dust jacket to this deluxe edition. Very, very creepy artwork by Dave McKean here. The only cover available, no variant covers or anything like that, but there have been multiple printings of this story, and there have been different covers in the past. So keep that in mind. There is the spine and the back. This deluxe edition goes for $30 US and $40 Canadian, collecting the graphic novel in its entirety. Let's have ourselves a look under the dust jacket. Sorry about that, guys, but what can I do? It's Halloween. I gotta throw a little spook in there, right? Real quick, let me just show you. Here is the dust jacket unfolded. It's actually a wraparound. Very nice look. But let's take a look at the book itself. And once again, this is also a wraparound. We got this very moody image of Batman. Almost depicts him as like a spirit type of thing. Yeah, you're in for a treat if you've never seen the artwork inside this book before, so let's get to that. All right, the contents. So I won't be discussing spoilers, but keep in mind this is a small book, so you might see a potential spoiler in the artwork as I'm flipping through, but that's about it. Can't really control that. But yeah, if you've never seen the artwork in this book before, get ready, because this is a wild ride. There's a reason why I picked this and said it's perfect for Halloween, because there's some creepy imagery to be had in this book. But starting off immediately. So all you need to know about the premise of this story is that a riot breaks out at Arkham Asylum with all the inmates, and Batman just needs to go there alone and figure out what's going on. If that sounds familiar, and you're a gamer, well, this very, very loosely inspired the plot of the video game Batman Arkham Asylum, one of my favorite games of all time. But yeah, look at this. Look at this skin-crawling Dave McKean art. Some might even call it chilling. I'm just kidding. I don't believe we get a visit from that particular villain in this. But yeah, look at it. It's like deliberately abstract and minimalistic, but it's so intriguing to look at least for me. I found that really conveys the insane atmosphere of the asylum very, very well. One thing I will say about this is a very, very different take on Batman. Definitely not your action-packed blockbuster that you might be used to. In fact, I'm not sure if this is canon, but my interpretation of this is that I view this whole thing as a construct of Batman's imagination, his worst nightmare, if you will. This is his worst case scenario, all of his enemies in one location, and he's got to confront them alone. So you get to see a very vulnerable Batman in this, with some very, very heavy and mature subject matter here, as he's going through and confronting enemies like the Joker, the Mad Hatter, Two-Face, and you get very interesting portrayals and twists on each of those characters. And this painted artwork, man, it just adds to the creepiness so much. For me anyway, I quite enjoy watching horror movies and getting spooked. So to experience superheroes and a character like Batman in that same vein was a treat. This is a pretty controversial book. It's love it or hate it type of stuff, I find. And thankfully I find myself on the love it side. This is something very unique, to say the least. It's not my favorite Batman story out there, but it definitely earns its place, I'd say, as one of the more prominent Batman stories. Now, as I said, I don't want to spoil any of the other material and story for you, but we can take a look at the extras here and look at how much material is in the extras. That's all extras. We're talking like almost half this deluxe edition, and so you get a lot. This is one of the biggest, I guess, ratio of extras to material I've seen. But there's a lot of stuff here. So you get like kind of character excerpts. Here's one from Batman and the Joker, and then you get some for a bunch of the villains: Two-Face, Mad Hatter, Killer Croc, Clayface. Some biographies on the creators, Grant Morrison and Dave McKean. You got some afterwards in here. I know there's one. Yeah, here's one by Karen Berger. The full script and original notes by Grant Morrison. There's actually some interesting stuff to be found in here. Like, for example, Robin was actually originally going to play a part in this story. But that idea was thrown out the window by Dave McKean, who could barely be convinced to write or draw any superheroes at all. When it was proposed to him to draw Robin, he's like, "No, I'm not doing that. That's stupid." Yeah, not a huge fan of superheroes, Dave McKean, but still, what came out here was really cool. You also get some breakdowns as well. Let me flip to those. Yeah, so the way Grant Morrison does things is they'll actually draw out and do breakdowns for like the story, and then they'll write the story, and then they'll pass that off to the artist to like redraw all the stuff that they initially drew, which I find kind of crazy, because it's like, that's a lot of work, but hey, if the method works, why change it, right? And speaking of Dave McKean, you also get a gallery by him as well. Let me flip to that. Here it is. And you get some of his work in the extras here. Layouts, breakdowns, that kind of thing. But also, if I can flip to it, yeah. Here are some of the alternate covers that this book has had in the past, other editions and such. A clay model used for the design of the Joker. Jeez, imagine that staring at you through the window at night. Yikes. And then some more final few images here, and that is that. On the build quality side, I did say this is a pretty small book, 232 pages we've got here. This is basically a glued binding, not a sewn binding, so there's no real eye to speak of. So you do get, I guess, a little bit more gutter loss every now and then. I didn't really find it to be too bad. Book lays over generally pretty okay. And the page quality, while not the thickest I've seen, it's not the thinnest either. I mean, it's not great, but it gets the job done. Just it's pretty thin, just glossy paper. Nothing too impressive. But that pretty much sums up our special little Halloween episode today. This book's definitely not for everybody, but if you want something creepy to read and you can appreciate that this is a completely different perspective on the Batman universe, there is a good time waiting to be had with this book. Remember, this is your last call to go leave any questions for the Q&A, so go do that if you haven't already. But that's been my review of the Batman Arkham Asylum, A Serious House on Serious Earth Deluxe Edition. Let me know what you think about this book. If you have it, or if you're planning to pick it up for a nice Halloween read, let me know. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope to catch you guys in another video real soon. So you have yourself a great day. I've been Superfly Comics Guy, and until next time, keep reading. Bye, guys.